Well, you can't make this shit up. No pun intended. All right, guys. In the description, I have linked the latest Trixie Layne video again. This one, this one is addressing when Gypsy Rose took the stand in Nick's trial that she cleared the courthouse, well, the courtroom rather, with her stink ass passing gas. Please listen to me. In the description, please go watch the video. All right? The judge's eyes were burning and watering to where he had to call a recess. I'm talking about he gave the he gave the fucking instructions to the jury like they get when they go home or at lunch. You know, don't discuss the case, and you know, don't look on the on the internet, and you know, don't talk with your other jurors. And then Gypsy gets up and she knows skunk. She knows skunk smells their own hole. They know. She knew she was doing that on purpose. It's way deeper than that, guys. This is way deeper. I had a discussion with my wife. You guys already know she's in the business. I say she's a shrink. Now, you guys, I've told you she's not a doctor. She's not a psychiatrist. She can't prescribe medicine or anything. But she's been in this business all the way since college, man. That's all she's ever done. And here in Boston. She was born here, raised here, went to high school here, went to college here, and she's here. And she's worked here. Ever since college, she's doing the same thing. Mental health type shit with people, okay? She can diagnose people, but she can't prescribe medicine. She has a master's degree. She's not a doctor, all right? Right, but this is what we were talking about. It's way deeper, guys. This is way deeper. We all agree that Gypsy Rose Blanchard is a narcissist, right? I mean, we've gone over this. We know she's, excuse me, we know she's a covert narcissist, right? It's way deeper than this. We had a big discussion on this disgusting shit, she and I. Well, first of all, I made a video a long time ago. Now, those of you that have been around with me for a while, you remember this, and it may be embedded in one of these YouTube videos. I'm not sure. I got like 400 of them now. I know for sure it was on a TikTok, but that account's been long banned. This was a while ago, right? When I told everybody that this woman, two women, DM'd me talking about they were in prison with Gypsy, and one of them I ended up talking on the phone with for a while. She was fucking hilarious, this girl, man. And I kept her phone number. And a couple months later, I wanted to call her back to ask her something else or clarify something. I wanted to ask her something about something else going on with her, maybe in prison that she might have known about or something. I can't recall, but I tried to call the number back, and it's not her number anymore. The people didn't know who the fuck she was. So, but anyway, if you're out there, you remember who you are, hit me up an email. So, she told me, I made a whole video on it, Gypsy would walk by people's bunks where you're stuck on your bunk. Like, okay, like right before count time, okay? When it's going to be count time, they give them a warning. Like what do they call it? I forgot what they call it, but recall for count maybe? Anyway, they call and they give them a certain amount of time to get to their bunk so they can count them, right? Well, you have to remain on your bunk through count. And that means through when the count clears. So when they come and count you, then everyone has to sit there until the count clears, and then they'll announce to the whole facility, count's cleared, or something like that. And then they can all go about their business. They get off their bunk and go about their business. But you must remain there until count's completed and cleared, right? So what this bitch will do is, during recall per count, when they're supposed to be making it to their bunks, and you're stuck on your bunk now, she's walking by people's bunks and she's letting a bunch of gas out on them. And then she runs off to her bunk and leaves her fucking filth behind. And they got no choice but to sit there in the cloud of fucking green slime. And she's back at her bunk. Not only that, also when people were standing in lines, like chow lines or other lines, where you're kind of stuck there because you're in line trying to get to where you're trying to go. How about this bitch will walk up and, you know, drop them on you and then run off and go over there and then point and laugh at you. Now, that has got to be one of the most disrespectful fucking things you can possibly do when you're locked up, I would think. farting like a 14-year-old boy farting on people and then running off. What the fuck, man? Right? My wife told me this is a covert narcissist tactic. They do this stuff. Any way to get, especially a sadist like this bitch, any way to get little microaggressions to where they are suffering, little micro suffering. That's a little bit of it. You're looking at the person going, "Ooh, gross! Who did that?" You know how people like to freak out and even go over the dramatic with it, and she's over there laughing, getting off on it. Right now, my wife pointed this out too. She pointed this out. Remember when her and Ryan got married at the prison? Well, they put you in a little room after you're first married, and I don't know how much time they give you. Probably, I don't know, 15 minutes, an hour. They put you in one of those little interview rooms. That's private. That's for between an attorney and a client. Now, if any of you have ever been in jail or prison or anything, and if you've ever been called out for an attorney visit, that little interview room they put you in. It's just you and your client in there. There's no window on it. There's no one watching you because you have to have privacy between the client and their attorney. No one can hear. The police can't sit and watch you like that because they can't hear you. What's going on, right? Well, once someone's married, I mean, they did just get married. They throw you in that little room together for, I don't know, maybe they give you they tell you though, you got X number of minutes. Because they're not going to come in there. They're going to leave you two alone. You're married. So they're assuming something's going down in there. Now, I don't know if you're supposed to, full-blown fuck in there or whatever. But I'll tell you this. One thing about it, and two things for sure. If I drove all the way there to marry a bitch in prison, I hate to be like this, ladies, but I'm at least leaving with a shot ahead and one of them double-decker fucking banana moon pies. That's just that. I'm not saying I wouldn't have returned the favor if we had enough time and she's not farting on me. But my wife said that's why she let that fart go in there. That is why she gassed up the whole thing. So she didn't have to do anything with Ryan. And to make him suffer in there. That is how disgusting she is. This ungrateful bitch has tricks this man into falling in love with her and actually marrying her in prison. One of the most despicable, disgusting things I can ever think of doing. I don't give a fuck who it is. I would never marry someone in prison. Right? Well, that's why she did that. Okay? Now, let me tell you something. It gets deeper than this. My wife told me that there are what I'm about to tell you, as disgusting as it is, she says there are actually peer-reviewed papers on this. Research. Now, I don't know that you're going to be able to just Google it. You can't just Google, and it's going to pop up. But she says there are peer-reviewed research literature on the subject of how covert narcissist women will use, and overt narcissists, just narcissists in general, women, will use their body to be offensive and stuff and do that. They will make them smell unfresh down there. They will make themselves outright stink, knowing their man or their boyfriend's coming. And this is how they'll do it. They'll smell good, perfume on, their hair will be made up, and their nails and makeup, they're dressed, whatever. And then they make sure, I know this is outrageous, man. I know this is outrageous. My wife says, they will even inject and turkey bacon stuff, things in them that will sit there and make them unfresh and make them stink to make the man suffer. And they're up there laying there laughing like, he's got to be down. He's down there grinning and bearing it. You know what I mean? Because they know, okay, the narcissists find empaths. They find people that are not going to confront them and people that are going to take their bullshit and people that are nice and kind. They're empaths and they're not going to want to hurt anyone's feelings. So they purposely make themselves stink like that because they know their man ain't even got the balls to say, baby, listen, man, listen, I'm not trying to be rude or whatever, but you need to tighten that up down there if you want me going down there. Right? Two people that are together and love, they should be able to do that nicely, kindly, right? But they actually do this on purpose, she told me, so their men can suffer down there because these type of empaths, they won't say, they don't want to embarrass them or upset them, so they'll just grin and bear it, man. This is the same along the lines as what we're talking about with her farting like that on everyone. It's the same thing she said. They do this. She says they do other things. They'll do things with their, they'll make sure they have bad breath even. They'll do things and use their bodily fluids for as a control thing, as to make other people suffer around them. This is how deep this is, guys. This bitch was getting upset in that courtroom or whatever, and she decided to fucking rip the gas to punish everyone in there. And because I guess maybe she felt like she needed a break, well, we'll just clear this whole motherfucker out. The judge's eyes were burning and watering. Miss Blanchard, just, stay seated, please, bitch. Gets better and better, guys. Just gets better and better. See you in the next video.